So yeah, let's go.
Well, first of all, we will continue with the same schedule as the previous time. So 1 hour and a half we will dedicate to the mastermind. Today we will be working with your personal brand map. Caroline has done it. Eddie has done it. Anne-Marie, what about?
No, I'm 2 weeks behind. I'm sorry.
Okay,
No
problem. It's just to understand for us with Elena to understand how we will schedule the timing.
However, yeah, Marina, what I suggest that for those who are not prepared, the mind map, because you know the timing is short and everybody is busy, you just can come with the questions based on the topics of the map, because since we have like 13 brand elements, there are always questions around them. And even though it's always like nicer to see it all in one page and to see how they fit together, however, if you are in the process of building it, we can answer whatever topic you have around that. And maybe just Anastasia, hi, I see you are connected now. To restate, so we have 8 weeks program, and basically we have 2 biggest parts: formulating the brand and then building the strategy, how to become visible, how to communicate, so executing it. And we know that the first part of formulating is very concentrated, and there are a lot of things. And next part, executing, everyone decide on their own what you want to do, because the strategies may be very different, so it's maybe less heavy in terms of information. Therefore, like, feel free to work on formulation for those 4 weeks, and then once you see that you have certain elements which you find acceptable, let's say, you can start implementing them. And the thing with the personal brand is that we are always come back and changing something and then going kind of back and forward, and it's normal, because when we go out there we get the feedback and we start to see things differently. So just don't be stressed too much if you don't have the final formula now. It's totally normal. Just keep doing something to move forward.
Yes, and maybe also as an idea for those of you, for example, for Anne-Marie, maybe you can have the document open today during the mastermind, and maybe you can put some notes, depending, you will be listening to other people, so maybe some ideas will come to your hand, how to put something for yourself, you know, how to add things to your mind map, and maybe you can do some notes today as well. And Anastasia as well, if you want to. So
okay, yeah, let's do a very brief ice breaking. We would like to ask each of you 2 questions. So the first one is about your progress and wins, so what you can be proud so far. And second one, where you have difficulties. So it's like very quick 2-sentence answer, just to measure the temperature in the group.
Maybe for the first question also, what you would like to celebrate also,
yes,
what you have done in this program so far. Okay,
maybe it's linked to the program. It's linked to the program. I mean, it's what we're proud of in the program. Okay.
Yes. What you have achieved, what you have done, what you want to celebrate. I will be naming people as I see them in the screen, and the first one is Caroline. You are very welcome to share with us.
Okay, what I'm proud of, what I want to celebrate. Well, I was quite proud of my elevator pitch last week.
Yeah.
I mean, because it came from, I mean, I did it quickly. So actually, I was walking on the beach beforehand, I think I said, and it was that the idea came to me about the wow, and that's why I pulled it in. And I've used it as a basis for some other pictures that I put in my mind map. But yes, but using that as a departure. So that's I enjoyed that. And where I'm still having difficulty, yes, where I'm still having difficulty is finding the person who I want to model myself on when it comes to getting out there, because there are a lot of public speaking coaches that I know who I don't want to emulate because they're too wow. So I'm looking for somebody that I feel comfortable with, so I can, use them as, take them as inspiration. I think that's
okay.
I mean, it's social media as an inspiration of communication style and the type of content they do. Okay. Very good. Thank you, Caroline.
Thank you. The next one is Eddie, please.
Yeah, so I am happy that I put the mind map together because I find it very important, and I struggled with it a lot in the beginning because I tried first with the Coggle tool that you had linked into one of the preparation modules, but then I started editing, and it was immediately difficult to really edit and change it, and then they started to ask to pay for an update to do some some of the screens. So then I said no, I will do it in PowerPoint. I'm more familiar with PowerPoint, so I did it. I was very happy yesterday evening when I got your feedback, Marina and Elena, that you were giving very positive feedback. So I was proud of that. You will have seen that. Okay, I still struggle with a couple of things. I think first of all, thank you all of you for your feedback on the struggle that I mentioned in Facebook, which was to remind you the dilemma to choose or not between one's dream, your vision, and then the immediate need to have a mission and a job, and what then could be, of course, not at all be in the same niche of positioning and something else. So thank you for all the good ideas and the feedback. So don't worry, I will stick to my dream, and I will be patient and work towards that. I had also a very nice conversation with an old colleague, consultant who worked with me many years ago, with who I didn't see for many years, and we happened to just have a chat on the Teams, and I started explaining what we were doing here, and he was so interested, and he immediately understood, and he gave me so much good feedback, and he really knows me well from way back, and that helped me a lot. And he also confirmed that you have to have patience, stick to your dream and plan, and even if you have to wait for a mission. He also said that the first mission in the new world is very important, so it's better to take a bit more time and choose the right one. And then the other thing that I'm struggling with is I've done so many things, and I've seen the procurement job at so many levels that I don't have any hands-on experience anymore. I managed always other people, and when I'm confronted with the question, what is your method? Because in the end, you sell yourself, but then and you can sell your dream, but in the end, someone will ask you, okay, and now start working, and what will you do to start helping us, and what is the approach? Then I have to think, and I think I have to start developing it, or at least to have to prepare the answers to that question, to have some content. So that's also something I'm quite conscious of, that I'm not ready to just go out there and say, hey, I will do this or that. I mean, I need some content. I have it all in my head, and I think I master a lot of things, but okay, how to put it together and make it a sellable proposal is step 2.
Just a little spoiler in model number 5. We have a lesson called how to create your expert programs. So I'm giving the structure. Hopefully it will be helpful. But thank you very much.
And in general, there are ideas in the module 5, maybe on how to scale up your knowledge and from the point of view of monetization. So there are different ways of how you can monetize it via program, via methodology, or whatever. So you will be watching that information in the module 5, and maybe it will give you even more ideas on how you can approach that.
Well, I have some ideas, but they need to be elaborated, and it will take time. But okay, I will, of course, happy to and looking forward to more ideas.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anne-Marie.
Yes, Anne-Marie is the next.
Okay. Well, what I'm proud of is that I follow the program at my rhythm, but it's 1 hour. I mean, sometime between 10 and 11 in the night. But so I struggle with following the program. I still here with you. So proud of this. And I'm happy also to have some progress on the interview I made with different people, which are very interesting and very interesting, because there are some perspective and vision that really I wasn't really conscious of. So it's really nice. It's very positive. I mean, okay, and what I struggle with is to follow your rhythm, because I see that you are much more advanced than I am. But okay, so it's a fact.
Thank you very much, Anne-Marie, and don't worry, you have time.
And the most important is to do regular little progress. So don't compare maybe yourself with others, because everybody has different.
No, I'm just frustrated about not having. I mean, it's not. I'm not comparing. It's not a question of comparing. It's more that I feel running. I mean, so all the time. It's very, for me. It's not very comfortable for me, I must admit.
Okay, but we are here to support you, really. If you need something or in that extent, just let us know. Okay, thank you. And Anastasia, please.
Thank you. So what am I proud of? Maybe those small steps that I've done so far in thinking about branding, identifying, and thank you, Marina, for your coaching throughout, because I think I was a bit lost, and it's related to what I'm not proud of or struggles. It's finding time to go through everything thoroughly and actually think about it properly. So yeah, there's some synergies with what Anne-Marie said. So it's following the pace with everything else on top of it. So it's just taking, as Yelena says, everything at small steps. But yeah, it seems I start to get to the core of who I am, and just reflect and stop and think. And I started to think a bit more about it. So actually who I am and what it is that I can call brand. Though, more I think about it, I don't like the word brand. No. It's such a constellation of characteristics, features, and your personality.
It's your personality, maybe professional and personal.
Yeah. So especially Marina, when you gave me some insights, the broader insights. It's not just brand. It's much bigger, which is quite interesting. It's interesting self-discovery, which I'm quite happy about. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, professional personality. I was thinking while Anastasia was speaking that perhaps we need to invent our own word for that, because personal brand, well, for me actually also, especially how it sounds, for example, in Spanish, marca personal, for those who know Spanish, it doesn't resonate at all. And we try to avoid it as much as possible, not to pronounce it like that, because it's not that. It's much bigger what we work on and what we do. So there is a task for us, Lena. We need to think how we can call that.
Self-identity piece and self-reflection and self-awareness. And I think it's very important questions to ask. And maybe especially we are working with people who have already many years of experience. And sometimes we're just programmed from the beginning and we see ourselves with our views of 15 years or 20 years ago. And it's very healthy exercise. And this is, as a coach, is confirm in certain points, just reassess. So who I am, where I'm going, what are my dreams, and what it's all about, because you know that we're all programs in the childhood, the first half of the life is very clear in terms of steps which are not ours, but society and education give us. So we need to graduate from the university, we need to start our career, we need to found a family, and we need to progress in this career. So everything is we're just executing. And at a certain point, with all that already done, and that's why we have normally midlife crisis, we just start to ask the right questions, as you said, Anastasia, who I am, what I want, whom I want to become, what legacy I want to leave behind. So what in those maybe 10, 20 years of active life, what I want to achieve. And I congratulate you all with the effort to take the time and to ask those serious and maybe sometimes uncomfortable questions, but it's very healthy process. So just to support you in that.
Yeah, because then we have the second part of our life, and I think we are all in this, let's say, second part of our life, so we can create that. Not that the society tells us what we need to do, like Elena explained before, but we actually can create it. And this is what we are trying to do a bit, maybe, in this program as well, helping you to see your vision, your professional vision, and then create all those steps and build that, maybe not personal brand, as if you don't like this name, but the self-identity for yourself as a person and as a professional who can succeed and arrive to that vision that you have for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. So it was a little outside remark just to tell you that I'm personally very compassionate, and I hear what you say, and I know that sometimes it's difficult to go through this process, but it's for your good, and you will be happy with the results. All right, so shall we start then with the masterminds? Would we call maybe as we did in the same order for the cases? Marina, would you maybe open the screen with Caroline's?
Yes, just a second. I will.
Tell me if I need to give you access or you have it. I'll check. Okay, make a host. Now you can.
Okay, so I'm sharing the screen.
Carolina, is it okay with you that we share the screen? So, or
you're on mute.
Yes, it's true, because the white dog was barking. Yes, I was just thinking frantically, what did I put in the map? No, it's fine, it's fine.
But we will be asking maybe for some comments from you as well.
Yes.
And so we will do it in that process of the mastermind.
Maybe
Rules, like
you can mention where you would like to have our feedback in which areas, and then we go.
Then yes, tell the specific questions you would like to work on, these questions that you will ask to us, right, to all your peers and us with Elena. So then everyone will be giving the feedback, and then we will do the conclusion, and you will explain your takeaway, so how you see those things, okay?
Yep.
So. Okay, here it is. Yes, it's very small. Let me see. Okay. So we will start from the upper part. Oh, Caroline, would you like?
Do you want me to comment or?
Let us know what are the things you would like to get the feedback about, and the specific questions that you have on the elements of your personal map. And then we walk through with that. So give you our feedback.
Okay. Okay, so to home in on the bits that I'm still not sure about. Vision and mission. So yeah, the crucial parts. I've been working, well, things that have been taking up my headspace this week have been trying to condense into a nutshell exactly what my vision and mission are and how they're different, and something that I can say easily in the, that shortest possible elevator pitch. This is what I do. So the vision, I want to, you know, it's on a grander scale. So I envision a business world where people lead, inspire, and drive change by communicating with confidence and authenticity. Now, I don't know whether it's aspirational enough, but I also wanted to avoid the word authenticity. But every way that I tried to turn it, and I tested it out on people I was interviewing, they were like, the other versions of the things I had, it didn't land well. So I ended up coming back to authenticity. But it's this idea that people bring their whole person to their public speaking. There, that's it. I'll just go on to mission, and then we can stop there. I don't know. The mission, once again, I had something much longer, and I was trying to get it simplify it, distill it right down. So a mission to help business professionals connect with their audience so they can lead with purpose and clarity. It's very serious, because when I don't want to say wow, because I don't think I'm a wow kind of person. I have a quieter presence. So if I start saying wow, even though a couple of people said they wanted to wow, I don't think it speaks to everyone. It doesn't speak to leaders. Do leaders want to wow, for example? What nearly everybody said in my interviews was they want to be able to connect to their audience, and the word connection keeps coming up all the time. And then as a little like sidewall, you know, the next level in the hierarchy of messages is to talk about how I do that, which is focusing on language, voice, creativity, and presence. And also my mantra is less is more. So distilling communications to their simplest and most colorful version to get the message across. So that's like in a longer explanation of what I do. So I think it's, yeah, is my mission too boring and mainstream? And are both of them clear? Is the vision aspirational enough?
Just before maybe we start, I know that there are a lot of confusions. What is vision? What is mission? Working with the companies, and this the first discussion we start with. There are a lot of interpretation, and so the research I've done was like mission. It's more aspirational. Why you are here as an organization or as a personal brand in this case. So what is your legacy? What change you bring to the world? In our lesson, we see vision more like pragmatic and personal. So you, Caroline, who are you in certain period of time? If you develop your brand, how you see that? If you really arrive to the top of your professional capacity, if those strengths you have, you leverage them to the maximum, if you would be the best in what you do, what would it look like? So vision here, it's not as much for communication to outside world that can go to the mission perfectly, but more for yourself, because then you have this kind of mark and you build your strategy how to get there. But first you need to decide where you want to arrive with all that.
Okay.
So it's like personal, it can be 5-7 statements, how you see yourself professional at your peak shape. Length, we suggest as well, take very kind of, I think in the video I said 5 to 10 years, but now with COVID, maybe 10 years, we don't talk about it anymore. Maybe we have aliens visiting us and anyway, so 5 years, I would suggest.
Yeah, and actually I am checking the brand book, because I remember that you put it in a very precise and detailed way. So you really did it great in the brand book. I still owe you to send them feedback with the message, because we were going through like in the order how we got it. And here it's your, let's say, resume, you know, the crystallization of your vision of yourself as an expert, with all those ideas that you have wrote down in the brand book. And there are a lot of them of what you see, how you see yourself. So what is the, let's say, the most important part of your vision to put it on the brand map? It's like for you to check the reference, to have the reference, whether you are going in the right direction or not, you know?
Because we talk a lot about point A and point B. So point A is your current state. That's what we've done with assessment to understand exactly where we are. And then point B, it's kind of your ideal destination, let's say 5 years from now. And the strategy which you build later on will be how to get from point A to point B. That's why it's very important to be specific and precise what point B looks like. Otherwise, it's very difficult to arrive somewhere if we don't define it clearly enough.
Yeah. And Yelena, I don't know how you feel about that. I would suggest that we, together with Eddie, Anne-Marie, and Anastasia, so we first give feedback about the things that Caroline mentioned, and then we go through with you quickly on the other points, just on the map, to give some feedback that we may have with you, Elena.
Yeah, let's go through the
let's do it this
process.
Way.
Yes, first. So the question was whether it's maybe we can, for the sake of this exercise, we can think about vision and mission as a mission, because for me it's like both of them more close to mission statement, right? Which you will publish for outside world and project. And the question you've asked whether it's clear and inspiring enough, and kind of what would be the feedback from the audience on that, right? Caroline.
Yes.
Okay, so let's give the feedback on that.
Yes, who would like to go first with your thoughts?
Professional connections.
Did we lose? Oh no, Anastasia is here. I just was not seen for a moment. Eddie and Marie, Anastasia, who have some thoughts?
Yeah, if you allow me, so I think the what I like in the mission now is you use the word connect. So I think connect the professional with the audience, and then so they can lead with purpose and clarity. I think that's fine. I think I would suggest to add something, which is that they are feeling comfortable while they're doing that. I think that, yeah, so that they are at ease or at peace or relaxed, and while they do that, and I think that's ultimately, I think, what you want. You want to, I think, give us the speakers had the confidence and the relaxed mindset that we can do our show or whatever we like to do at ease, relaxed, so that we are also open to get the feedback and really connect to the audience. Otherwise, it's very artificial. So I would add something like comfortable feeling or at ease, or I don't know, something like that.
Okay. Thank you.
Very good, thank you.
And maybe again, I will just follow up a bit on what Eddie said. Caroline, you can get those ideas of the wording from interviewing your customers and your audience, because for sure you have, and I remember you mentioned at the previous mastermind that you were getting the way they described how you actually worked with them. So check for the words there.
Who's next?
I will follow what Eddie said. I mean, I know Caroline, so what I read, in fact, is very, let's say, generic, and not compared with what Caroline is able to do and is able to transmit to her client. So this is why I'm okay, it's nice, it's well said. I mean, I understand the word, but it's still, reading this, I don't see you, Caroline.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm bringing something very, but this is why what Eddie said was very accurate, because it took some words and going more in depth. It's very interesting. I think that the words are here, but you have to go more in depth in what does it mean? What does it mean connecting? What does it mean when you say inspiring? I mean, everybody inspire everything. You see what I mean? Yeah. What is
yeah. Well, I knew it.
Is it too strong?
No. I said I think.
Yeah. But for me, it remains too open.
Yeah, it's too mainstream. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you very much, Anastasia.
Thank you, Anne-Marie.
Yeah, I might be poisoned by corporate culture and working all my life in the corporate world, but I actually thought it's great. But now listening to Eddie and Anne-Marie, like maybe it's not cozy enough or not cuddly enough, but I actually get the message. So maybe there's some, depending on whom you are talking to. So I see it very succinct, and yeah, those keywords: connect, purpose, clarity. But again, as I say, it might be just because I come back from corporate culture and it's just how it is. But now again, they challenged my thoughts, both Eddie and then Anne-Marie, and I think, probably it should be a bit softer, but for corporate world audience, it's perfect.
Okay. Which is my audience a lot of the time.
Exactly. But would you remember, Anastasia, this mission, if you see it on the website, and distinguish Caroline from other professionals in the field?
Yeah, as again, it goes to that, whether it's about Caroline or about what she delivers. Mm-hmm. That's why I say Anne-Marie and Eddie, especially Anne-Marie, that it's not Caroline. So if I don't know Caroline, it will be, yes, very professional, knows what she wants to do. This is the point A, this is where I want to purpose, clarity, get the messages across, become more like colorful, distill communication, those like very punchy words that like, like immediately catch your brain. But is it Caroline? Now that I hope I will know Caroline better by the end of the program, but even now I think maybe after Wow Peach, maybe, and all the performance courses and being a clown, and maybe not. And is it the message that we want actually to deliver? Sometimes even we know what is our personality, but when we face certain audience, again, Marina, what we discussed with you tweak the words sometimes, and you sometimes give a bit, different angle to what you want people to perceive you as. You can be, nice and fluffy and soft and funny, but then sometimes you want actually people to see you from different angle. I don't know. Is it appropriate, to have different facets? Of your brand?
The thing is not about different facets, and actually that what I was telling you, Anastasia, because you as a whole, you are like this, that you have certain values, you have certain personal traits, you have certain, sorry, I can hardly speak because we have here like allergies. Yes, and I'm struggling here. So you have certain things that are about you. They are constant, you cannot change them. And this is you, how as a person and as a brand. But then when you speak to different audiences, because with you, we were discussing like speaking to teenagers, to children, and then to business audience, like your bosses or people like this. So definitely then the message will be different, but you as a whole person and professional will stay the same. It depends on what message you want to deliver, yes, but you will be perceived in the way how you present yourself as the whole, as a person and professional, because your values cannot change, You cannot be, I don't know, irresponsible, for example, when you speak with children, and you can be very responsible when you speak with your bosses, you know, things like that. The core things, they are constant, they are the same.
I totally understand it, but how it's again a question to myself. How do I want to be perceived? Responsible or irresponsible? You know, that's where
it's about you. It's not about faking it. It's about you,
the
your
essence, authenticity.
Yes, it's how are you? This is why, you know, we have these 2 weeks of self-discovery for you also to understand. So what about me? Who am I actually, and how I want to continue in this professional world as a person and as a professional, you know, how I want to be. It's not maybe the question of how I want to be perceived. It's the question of how I want to be, how I want to exist, and to be at my best, you know, in order to get better results from what I have, not from what people want to see in me. People may want to see different things, but they can be things that you are not comfortable with. And if you will be faking it, at some point you may get tired, and you may get like fed up with showing the things that are not authentic to you. This is my opinion. With Elena, we were working a lot on that and thinking and speaking with people. It's all about finally authenticity and you being comfortable with how you are showing to the world and how you deliver your message.
Yeah, maybe to conclude, since we're still with Caroline, then we'll go to
yes,
Anastasia. Maybe, yeah, I would agree with what was said. It's very well done. And I was just checking because I work with organizations to help them create mission, and I have some missions from the companies. And it sounds like really a corporate mission for me, which is good, accurate, clear, but maybe you can do it better because you're a person, you are not only a company frame where they're so conditioned by so many things, what they can say, what they can't. And from last session, I remember this wow effect. So I forgot all exact words everybody were using, but I remember this wow. So that's something you can still do in the mission as well. Maybe put a hook there where we see you. I don't know if you, Marina, give me a second. I wanted to share the screen with the company mission statements. So just like Ted would say, spread ideas. This is very straightforward. LinkedIn would say, connects both professional to make them more productive and successful. Tesla would say, accelerate transition. That ring the bell exactly this presentation because it's so much depth. So accelerate transition to sustainable energy. Uber mission is to bring transportation for everyone, everywhere. So it's about accessibility. Samsung inspired the world with our innovative technologies, products, and designs. And Amazon, we strive to offer our customers the lowest possible prices, the best available selection, and the utmost convenience. I mean, they're all good, but they're still very corporate. We didn't have a wow effect while I was reading. It's all correct. There are some nuggets of wisdom and maybe a lot of thousands of dollars spent with the agencies of crafting the message. But I think we as a person, brands, we could do far better, having all the liberty in the world to stand out with the mission. So it's my just side remark that it's perfectly fine, but you can do it more you and more remarkable maybe.
And I will add maybe one thing. It will be a piece of advice if you want to try it, Caroline, while you are walking on the beach with your dog.
Yes.
Maybe speak from your heart and record your mission with the voice recorder. Speaking from your heart, you know, and then you can come back home and see what you spoke, actually, what you said with what you have written here, and how you can lighten it up more, maybe with some interesting words, because I don't know how it works to you. When I walk on our beach here, you know, where we live, I always have interesting ideas and interesting words, and something that I always walk with my phone where I write it down, you know, words, ideas or something, because afterwards we forget. And you mentioned you do the same. So maybe try speak it up, you know, and record it, and then get back and see how you can really edit some I don't know how to say that, some shiny points, you know, to your mission. Because mission, usually what we do, we put it on our website, we specify it, for example, on LinkedIn, we can put it as well.
In communication,
It's great. From,
material,
as
yeah.
Anastasia mentioned, from the corporate point of view, it's really great. It's clear, clean, understandable, and it gives that promise, you know, that you have as your mission.
Okay.
So try to play with it.
Yes, thank you.
So should we maybe move further, Marina, for the time sake? We have 45 minutes left.
Yes, okay, we have Eddie, and who is ready with his version. Anne-Marie, not yet, but she may have questions. Anastasia, do you have your version of the map?
You would like to share with?
You're on mute. We cannot hear you.
It just we have renovations that going on, so I put on mute because it's a lot of background noise. So I had a first go, and I can share, just, you know, maybe share and see if I'm going the right direction.
Okay, very good.
Okay, we can do that. Then what we will do time-wise, Caroline, we will get back to you with the voice recording about all the things that we will see with Elena.
Okay.
What you can, I don't know, change or get better, whatever on the map.
And yeah, maybe one more specific question, if you have
any.
It's so nicely done, and we can see everything here.
Yeah, I've actually got a lot of stuff in my elevator pictures that I can use to, and even I think I've got the answers on here actually as to how I can spice up the mission. Any other questions? I don't think I had any. I mean, I'm still struggling with my audience avatar. So, you know, the whole partner, collaborator, competitor message, but and oh yeah, one question is, I think it's what Eddie was saying about what he struggles with. It's this whole the el hilo rojo, you know, the thread that runs through everything. That is when we're clear about that, we know exactly what content to create, because everything comes from this, you know, central thread, and I still don't have that clear yet. So I don't know whether should that be something that jumps out of our brand, personal brand map.
If you think about the content, actually, again, in the next modules, there will be information on where to get content ideas and how to create content. So maybe we will leave it till then, and you get back to us either at the Mastermind or in Facebook group, or with the message. You can send a voice message if you want to the WhatsApp group as well, so that we can listen to it with your thoughts and ideas and questions and maybe doubts.
Okay.
Because there will be information on that.
How to get to the content part. All right. Okay. So let's move to Eddie then.
So you will share, Elena, right?
Yes. I'm just thinking. It reminds me. You've sent the one. sorry, there is an emergency.
Okay, so then let's move on. I'm sorry, just a second, because Eddie's version had Yelena. I think, Eddie, you put it also to Facebook, right? The latest version of your map?
It's on Facebook?
No,
Yeah,
no.
I sent it to your to LinkedIn,
LinkedIn.
in the LinkedIn mail.
Okay, so let me open it then.
I'm sorry, there was a emergency to cover.
Is it all okay?
Marina.
You can continue, Yelena.
Yes, yes, yes. You want me to open, right?
I'm sorry, I'm back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm opening now, and so I okay, right, Eddie, right, that we shared it. So it, as Eddie mentioned, is in a very different PowerPoint format, which is great, and I really like the way you approach it. So you do what works best for you, and this is the way to do it.
Well, I basically copy pasted the structure of the mind map in a structure in PowerPoint with a slide per topic, ideally.
Yeah, so that's yeah, for those who are still working on that, that could be another way to do.
Yeah.
Put it.
So yeah, vision and mission for me, referring back to the discussion we just had. I need to still work on that. My thinking is also that you cannot do everything in one go and in one thing. So some of your personality and some of your things you will have to probably wait for your value proposition and for your elevator pitch to bring all the elements together and to show yourself as you want to be seen and as you want to show yourself. So for me, I have tendency to say the vision is just a vision and the mission is just a mission, and let's go to the content. But that's me, and I'm probably probably useful, but I understand that it would be better to have the mission improved, and I need to work on that, because when you look at the next slide, Elena, with the mission, then it's still also it's way too long and not so clear and clear cut as Caroline, and also it is not at all telling anything about my personality or the way I want to do it or the way I want to be perceived. So I think from that perspective, it needs a lot of fine tuning.
Okay, so Eddie, because you've done, I found, really great job, as Caroline put a lot of time and effort in that. Is there any specific thing you would like us to give you the feedback with and using?
Yeah, can you go to slide 12 with my? It's a slide on the niche and the niche specialization, where I have difficulties in narrowing it down, and I cannot withhold myself from on the niche, let's say procurement strategy, governance, organization. I think that's pretty fine, but then if you go to specialization niche on the right hand side, there's an awful lot, which then is for me a little bit of the problem. And while I told you I was talking to this friend of mine, that consultant, and he was saying, when he listened to this, he said, yeah, you would maybe be best to be the right hand of a procurement manager, of a CPO, and bring that organization forward in all those aspects, and depending on the topic that is really needed to develop or to work upon. So I don't know, it's still a lot. I was working this afternoon also on the touch points, and then I had, but it's not yet in this presentation, and I had the idea that maybe I pick one topic to build touch points upon, which would then for me would be things around the procurement policy, and start discussion on how companies should or can produce a better procurement policy for their fitting to their goals and to their organization, to start somewhere. But yeah, I mean, you know, all these topics are for me interesting topics that I love to discuss and elaborate upon. So it's too much.
Okay, so the question to the group would be,
yeah, how is this good, or is this really too much, and is it harmful if I leave it like that, which would be my natural preference, but probably yeah, that's what I would like advice upon.
Very good. So before jumping to advices, because this is maybe pretty complex for someone who is not in the topic, questions to Eddie before we start giving advice.
So this specialization niche, and where you put it even more specialized, does it reflect that challenge that you had, that you put on Facebook, where what you want to be doing, but then there's no demand at the moment? Have you reflected it here, your dilemma?
Yes, to some extent, in the sense that let's say it's easier to find jobs and missions when you are a bit more concrete and talk about vendor management, contract management processes, and these are more specific things. It's easier than talking about the first two bullets, which are very broad and are, let's say, the strategy, the organization, the policy, which is, let's say, yeah, they're container terms that are, yeah, the risk I see when using them is to say, hey, there's another guy who is a super consultant and will do my wife is thanking me for having made the salad. Yeah, I think, you know, on the first two bullets, when somebody says, hey, I want to help you with your organization, I don't know if that's specific enough to get attention and to get the connection. And of course, it takes much more than putting it here in the niche. You need to go to the elevator pitch to really capture the audience. Yeah, I hope it clarifies a bit, Anastasia.
It does, and again, I think I put it in my comments when you shared it with us. If you can show the benefits, you're creating the demand. So maybe here to work a bit on the wording. So procurement policy design. Again, I don't know. Maybe it's for Marina and Yelena if it's the right place, but even for yourself, maybe go a bit further and just what is in procurement policy design that makes it, you know, is it efficiency, effectiveness, cost savings, you know, so that you can actually, by using the words, you can already show some, you know, for the customer return on investment. So if they employ you, if they get you on board, what it will be for them, you know. I again, I might be thinking with my corporate hat, but I just don't think you should be afraid of bringing new things that you see will significantly improve things and make procurement from boring industry into something joyful.
Okay, thank you. I will think in terms of benefits and what's in it for them indeed. Yeah.
So we are in the comment part, right? Any questions before we move further with, no, it's clear. Okay, who would like to go next with the advice on the specialization?
I would, Eddie, in fact, all what you mentioned here is very, very interesting and bringing a lot to companies. But for me, it's very, it depends a lot about, I mean, they will listen to you, and if they have the maturity so the maturity and the vision and the money to move those topics, in fact. So in fact, I don't know if it's an advice, it's a bit complicated what I see. In fact, I would, in fact, put some big of low maturity, middle maturity, and high maturity, put some sectors of companies or in each pack, and make a kind of, I'm sorry, I'm very matricial person, and put your different, I mean, procurement policy design and where this can be fit. I mean, this can match, I mean, which profile of, even if it's a high level profile, this can match. And based on this, modulate your approach. Because if a company is in, I don't know, low maturity, you're right. I mean, they will, I mean, talking about structuring with policies or seeing, I mean, giving more power to the procurement department and also measuring with KPIs can be something that it's concrete. They can see that. If you start talking about vendor management or things that are very far from what they are currently doing, they will probably more easily disconnect. I mean, I don't know if this helps you.
Yeah, thank you. It's surely important to tailor this to the audience or to the type of company I would talk to indeed. And I've seen such maps, Anne-Marie, as you say, with from consultants that came along at ING with the several stages of maturity and with the time axis and then the different, let's say, levels with some explanation. So it's surely possible to find that and to build something like that. Yeah. But I would have to, and that's part of the content for me. I would have to develop that and think about it, because I would not feel comfortable with by taking some slide of Accenture or whoever to start using that in my branding, let's say. Mm-hmm. But I think that's the type of idea that I need to develop the content and then bring it back here, probably.
Very good, thank you, Anne-Marie. Caroline, would you like to?
Yes.
Give your advice.
I mean, a few things jump out at me actually. One is I love the slide. I think it's very rare to see clear slides like that that are pleasant to look at, which is obviously just on a cosmetic level. I wonder about the fact that you haven't got the word consultant or consultancy in here for your niche, because the niche is very clear: procurement strategy, governance, and organization, but consultancy, right? Because this is what you're actually offering is as a consultant. So yeah. I would have that in there somewhere. In the list on the right, I get the impression when you said it's all the things that I'm interested in, that I know how to do and I like doing. Well, I bundled up all of the things that I like doing in communication when I started my business 8 years ago. And 8 years down the line, I realized I don't actually, I was bundling up things because I can do them, but not necessarily because I wanted to do them. And I ended up going far too wide. So just to bear in mind that if you really love doing them, then great. But then, ask yourself, if I do need to go narrow, what could I focus on and what could I have as in a lesser tier, as Anne-Marie said. And the other thing was, if you're talking about your target audience, your consultant friend said about you could be the right-hand person for a CPO, then is that going to be your main target audience? In which case, as Anne-Marie said, then you could adapt, because not all companies will have the maturity or the resources to hire you for all of those, or be at the right stage of development to hire you for all those services. So it's that, as target audience, do you really want to put everything in the basket? If you do, that's fine, but make sure you're clear, and definitely put the word concept of consultancy in there.
Yeah, thank you, Caroline. It's very, very useful indeed. You're right. Oh, and by the way, I was using this opportunity to enhance my PowerPoint skills, and I experimented a little bit with templates and things I found in the new version of PowerPoint from Microsoft. So, but I enjoy, and I'm happy you like it. Because my slides in ING, everybody said plenty of good content, but very ugly and not readable. So
okay, very good. Thank you, Caroline. Marina, would you like to go next?
Yes, I will add several things. I will say from the very beginning that, Eddie, I'm not specialist in procurement. I don't know much about this industry, so I will give just some general thoughts that might be useful for you, let's say from the strategic and the more marketing point of view. So first of all, you know, when we speak about as a professional, as a person brand, we want to be perhaps known for one thing. And we want, for example, if something comes to mind, people have an idea, they are looking for a specialist whom they want to fix something, to help them to work on something, etc., etc. So you should be that person who will come to their mind as the go-to specialist on that thing. And this is when it comes to the niche specialization. How to choose that? There are different criteria, but perhaps what we were discussing with Elena recently, the best thing to check perhaps is where the money is. So what is the specialization in your industry where customers are really willing to pay money, and check whether you have those competencies so that you will deliver the results that they are looking for. This might be one thing. Then another thing is what is in demand now and what is trendy now in your industry. You know, what are the trends and what specifically companies would like to improve, to work on, to make it better. Again, going back to all that you know, so how you can take it out from all those competencies and all that knowledge and huge expertise that you have, to, let's say, to narrow it down and give that exact solution as your specialization to the customers who are willing to pay, and then they can consider you as a consultant who can provide them with those services and results. So this is my piece of reflection on what I said, but in general, all that you niche is absolutely clear. Specialization, there are different things. So what you would like to be known for exactly, as Eddie, the expert in, and that piece of your knowledge, expertise that you can put there. The number one go-to expert in that field.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it comes with the opinion leadership,
mm-hmm.
maybe. So Yelena will give
Yeah,
some.
maybe all that what is here, it will go very well in the programs and the offerings you are going to explore, because that's the substance you'll bring to the company. The idea of specialization is really narrowing down. And we know that there is always this fear of narrowing down too much, because people think I will lose the client who would need just policies. Maybe someone would need benchmark or vendor management, let me put it here. But the more we put there in the specialization, the more we dilute the message. And and therefore, we are among many others in terms of competition. The more we're laser focused, the easy is to stand out and become known for visibility. So this is visibility of the brands. And what people say or who choose narrow specialization, that even if you're specialized in procurement policy, people would ask you, they receive the regulatory, the vendor management, supply chain anyway. But at least you will stand out for something to go to, and then they will ask additional things. It's always happening like that we are asked to do many things around the niche, but at least we stand out for something, caught attention, and then customer is coming. So maybe look through these lenses, and maybe I like what Anne-Marie was saying about the maturity level. Maybe your specialization can be going from maturity level to helping organizations go into maturity level 2 to 3, for example. If you put your own mapping, where policy would come, is it like in the basics, or it would be like more advanced? Some things I see that they are not in the same level. So maybe if you map them, it would be easier to say, so actually I take you in the level 2 and put you in 3, or in 3 and put you in 4, and this is my specialization. And then you can go into details and to see what is inside that. And another niching down idea, I was thinking about the sector, because you are coming from banking, so in finance, so finance maybe broader sector. And so I was in procurement in Danone in production, and then in Microsoft, where there is no production, so it's more similar to finance. In this extent, it's very different approaches. So maybe even if you don't want to be so narrow with finance, but think about 3, 4, 5 sectors where your knowledge is really applicable. Because if you go to production, it's a whole different story when you have like 90% of spend goes to raw materials and packaging. It would be different than 100% of spend on financial organization, like marketing and other consulting and those type of things. So maybe narrow with that.
Okay, thank you very much. You're not making my life easy, but
we are always challenging you.
right. But
maybe
that's good. I need that.
And I will add just quickly, Elena mentioned that, but Eddie, for you, specialization is how you will stand out and in what you will be the person of reference, but it doesn't exclude all other things that you can do.
Yeah, sure.
As Elena mentioned. So
yeah.
You are known for that, but you can also add as additional services something extra that you know.
I will think in that way. Indeed, I was catching that remark from Elena. Indeed, to say that when you talk about the policy, then some of the other topics will follow immediately in the next part of the discussion anyway. So yeah. Okay.
Maybe sometimes, specialization, you can be specialized on certain type of companies. For example, your niche is financial sector companies, 500,000, I don't know, plus in the middle level of maturity, and you help them to go to the next level of maturity, something like that. Then it's larger focus. Who are your clients? Because the more you clear in specialization, the more you have answer whom you need to contact. Yeah. To get the clients. And with this, it's very difficult because everybody would fit here who have procurements spent.
Yeah, okay.
Because maybe you decide like middle-sized enterprise, family businesses, startups. I don't think so, but anyway, it's very different groups of customers. So maybe focus on whom you want to see as well.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
And
Thank you.
anyway, the KPI here would be the procurement spend as well, which is really straightforward. 1 million, 1 billion procurement spend. This is whom I help to get from A to B. Okay, good. Thanks. We go to the next. Anne-Marie, would you like to bring something, or we go to Anastasia?
No, maybe Anastasia.
Okay, okay.
Sorry, Anastasia.
No, that's fine. And I have hard stop in 15 minutes, but I still, I'm happy for you to share and just. You know, I was listening to Caroline and Eddie and all the comments. It's still working. I got some great ideas, so yeah, I will definitely evolve and work on that. But I can quickly, unless you have something else, Marina, Yelena, to say before, because I will have to drop off in 15 minutes.
No,
So we have 15 minutes, yes,
exactly.
till the end of the mastermind part of the call. So you can then show us what you have.
So do you want me to share? Do you want me to share screen, or are you sharing?
You can share it.
Okay.
No, I need to give the permission.
Oh, I have for some reason.
Yes. Okay, all right, good.
So can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
So I only worked mostly on this part, on the left part. I didn't do much here, but as I said, I have some interesting thoughts that I will put. So my vision is to be trusted advisor and serving leader within the company. So, and then my mission is, again, it's thoughts rather than a crystallized mission. And I liked what Caroline put, like to expand it, to add more. So I will definitely expand it. So leading by example, create the environment for people to thrive and fulfill their potential. So that's me as a.
Would you like to get our feedback specifically for vision and mission? Do you have a specific question, or it's general?
Yeah, I have specific. Does it like, what do you think about this vision and mission? And even though I already have some more ideas, but I would like to hear when you see this. Please, what do you think?
So any questions maybe to Anastasia before we go into advice?
What is, Anastasia, what is a trusted advisor and a serving leader for you?
Yeah, great question. So it's totally unclear then. So when you grow in the company to like go into next level, be able to manage the team, so get wider responsibilities, get on the board of the company, you need to have certain skills and experience so that you can advise how to run the business. So you become trusted advisors when people come to you and ask for your advice, for your coaching on business matters, on the whole, like running business. Actually, serving leader, it's when it's a concept of leadership which I aspire to. So that's actually in the mission. So it's not saying like that's what you need to do, team. It's about helping your people in your team. So you serve them, you create the environment where they thrive, and they help you to succeed, the business succeed. So you become a serving leader. So that's a concept, actually, leadership concept.
How can you reflect the concept to you? How can you?
That's again, I need to think about. So and expand on what does that mean. And I believe I did put it what I mean by this in the mission. So create the environment for people to thrive and fulfill their potential. But what does that mean? How do you do it? That's again what I need to expand.
Very good. So any questions before we go to the advising part, or so far it's clear and we can consult Anastasia.
My question, Anastasia, is this is really something quite different from what you do today, or is it something that you already do in your current job, or try to do in your current job?
I'm already doing some leadership responsibilities, but I aspire to get to. So there are two, as I mentioned last time. So there are two streams. One is growing to the board level at my current company. And also I started doing some non-executive directorship roles. So it's actually developed. So it's more about this trusted advisor piece, that where I can go and become non-executive director at different boards. Yeah. And specifically charities. That's where my passion is, where I can help them with my skills and expertise and experience.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so who would like to go first? We have 9 minutes. Yeah, or we can go with Marina. Yeah, Eddie?
Yeah, I can try to give some advice. I think it's very nice to have this type of mission, and probably you saw a lot of bad managing practices or bad managers going around in your company, as I saw an awful lot of them, and asking myself all the time, why are these assholes behaving like that? Don't they understand how people work, or how they can motivate, or so I think it's a very interesting challenge, and a very nice mission that really I think is very interesting. So and you saw me taking a book from my shelf. I will send you the reference. I have it here. It's a Dutch version, but it's literally The Trusted Advisor, and it's from David H. Meister, who is a professor, and he's really very good in documenting all that. So I will send it in the chat. That can be very interesting. And so there is a lot of literature. It is about, I think, good management practice. So it will also be tricky to really be very specific in what exactly you want to achieve with that, and how you will help people and companies. But I really like the topic. It's a wonderful topic. It's a crusade against politics in organization.
Yeah, it's also corporate gamesmanship.
Yeah. You know, to give you one thing, and it's a bit bad, and we are in a confidential setting here, but in ING is a huge company, financial banker. You all know that.
I just sold them the software. I just closed the deal.
It's an awful political organization, to the extent that at a certain moment the board was saying, hey, we need to have management principles and a kind of an orange code to get people working together, actually. So, and then they made a lot of publicity about that, and I was always amazed that then they would say, hey, we have orange code, and one of the things is, for instance, help others to be successful. Now, when you think about it, and you're a big company and you need a code of conduct that says and promotes that you have to help others to be successful, that means something for how you behave inside in your company all the time, right? So it is it is really but it's good, because you can really achieve a lot of things with building the right mindset in companies and in management, of course. So I like it a lot, and then there's a lot of stuff out there. So yeah.
Thank you. Who's next? Just for the time wise, I see that Anastasia has 6 minutes with us, so just that everybody can give the feedback. Caroline, maybe, or Anne-Marie?
Yeah, I can jump in just quickly. I would say that the fact, I mean, I agree with Eddie. It's they're great. When you explain, Anastasia, what's behind it, I get really excited. So I would suggest building on both your vision and your missions, just so that everything is clear. And I'm sure there are lots of really lovely words that you can add. I mean, the ones that spring to my mind from what you just said is the word development, mentor, care. The fact you want to give back. So if your vision is to be a non-executive director on the boards of charities, so something you can say, add to the vision, so that that idea is clearer, so that so that it doesn't need any explanation.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Anne-Marie.
Yeah, the same, Caroline. I mean, what you explained when I asked you what is trusted advisor was much nicer than just reading trusted advisor, which is very cold and very like
corporate.
They're very corporate. Yeah, I mean, of course, if I go in Google and I search for an advisor, maybe I will enter advisor. I mean, you probably more than this, and what you explained was really more much inspiring than what is here in the paper. So maybe we can just put it black on white.
Okay, thank you. And so Marina,
yes, couple of words. Anastasia, I think it looks really great, especially when you have explained and we all have it clear. So just expand it a bit, even for yourself, you know, your vision, trusted advisor, where, in what type of company, you know, so for you having to have a reference that you are on the right way to your vision, you know, to check it from time to time. Okay, am I doing the right things to get to the vision, or should I somehow tweak the things that I'm doing, you know?
Yeah,
this is from my side.
Yeah, for the again, we can discuss a lot of what is vision and mission. For the sake of this program exercise vision, it's really about you. You're not supposed to publish it somewhere. It's for you get clarity where you go. You define your point B, and the more specific you are, the easier it is to build then the strategy how to get there. So imagine that we have a tree with a lot of branches and apple somewhere, one apple somewhere on the top. So when we see the apple and we move for each branch by branch, we know exact road because the vision is there. But imagine that you remove the apple and you have the branches, and that's what we have every day. We do the choice. Should we go left or right? Do we take this decision or that? To answer it, you need to have very specific vision. And from what you said, you have it clear, get on the board in this company, be a non-executive director in the charity. So put all that in. This is your vision. And then it will be easier to work on the strategy. And regarding the mission, so since I work in leadership, I was delighted to hear that you are going to the servant leadership, because it's absolutely aligned with you about greatness of this topic. And for the mission, this is something you can always use. And maybe trusted advisor. So we are talking about this thought leadership, which gain as well popularity in organizations as a terminology, and people start to appear with the title in organization as a thought leader. So maybe we can discuss a bit more that concept versus trusted advisor, but I see where you would like to go. And when you're like an expert, you can choose to go whether like narrow down your expertise and specialization in terms of knowledge, or what I hear from you, going more in general leadership and being a leader, less connected with the subject matter experts. I mean, when we grow in the organization until a certain point, we can combine, and then we need to make a choice, whether you go as a specialist or you go as a leader, as a board member with a broader vision and more like a strategy. And I feel like that's clearly direction you would like to take. So maybe just elaborate on your doubting. But anyway, that's what I see reflected there. So if it's not the case, maybe add what is about your expertise you would like to get. Okay, so thanks. Then you can go.
Thank you
Good
very
timing.
much. I need to have a call with US. But thank you so much. It was really useful. A lot of great thoughts. And Caroline, Eddie, and Anne-Marie, pleasure to pick your brains all the time. And Marina and Elena specifically, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I saw
Anastasia.
that I wrote it down. So thank you so much.
Thank you, and you'll have the
Thank
recording
you.
anyway if you can.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Yes.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Mhm. So we are done with this official part. Maybe before we go to more specific questions, if you have your takes away from this session of Masterminds, you can have it from like what you heard about others or what you might find for yourself, for your case, and listening others as well, because listening others, it gives us usually many ideas, because with others everything is clear. Where it's not clear, it's our case. But when we look at others, we might get the ideas for our case. So please, takes away.
Yeah, my takeaway was it was interesting to listen to the discussion on Caroline's mission, which made me also reflect on mine. I think very good, with well, the thought that it's better to include in the mission already something about your personality and how and etc. If that's possible in one or two capturing sentences, of course. So that's one. And then the second one, thank you for all the feedback on my specialization, which will be a huge challenge. And I think it's very useful to have all your thoughts on that. So that was good. Yeah. Oh, and the other takeaway is, while listening to each other, I always have I'm always amazed how wonderful people are when I see this. Like it's a pity that Anastasia is gone, but you know, it's such a nice person that suddenly comes out and say, hey, I want to do something with this crappy leadership that we have in companies, and I try to give the example. So that's wonderful. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We will let you know that she watches this piece in the recording when you were mentioning that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eddie.
Caroline, maybe?
A takeaway, yes. I think my main takeaway is that I do not want a boring, bland, and corporate mission. I want something a bit more. I want something that reflects me, and so because it's ironic that I'm coaching people to not be boring, bland, and mainstream and in the template, and here I am with a very corporate mission statement. So no. So and yeah, the fact that it's a vision, it's where I see myself, and maybe I have difficulty doing that because I'm in my brand template book. I have like all these points like this, but I need to condense it down to one vision statement that's which is my destination. This is where I'm aiming at. So it's helpful what you just said, Marina, is that's the destination, and to check in with ourselves regularly. Am I doing what I need to do to get there? That's an important takeaway as well.
Yes, because you have a lot of things there in your brand book, and they are all right, you know. But I totally with you there, you know, because you put those things, and I totally see you going there. But yes, just condense it into that, let's say, smaller thing that you will always have in front of your eyes, you know, and will be showing you, okay, as Elena mentioned before, am I doing the right choice now or not? You know, what should I choose in order to get closer to my vision and not to lose time or maybe efforts, you know, trying to do something else. It's outside of my path to my vision, you know.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Anne-Marie?
Thank you.
It was interesting to listen to your mission, vision, and yes, and to see that in fact, yeah, it's always frightening to see all those words that are so cold and not always reflecting what I mean the personal people are behind. And it's I mean, when we want to put ourselves in a box, it's so easy. It's so easy to do that. Well, I wanted to say something. And, oh yeah, yes. I mean, I have a question. I mean, it was with what Eddie showed us. I mean, is it possible to not have just one niche? Or I mean, you mentioned different niche and just modulate them. I mean, I'm this specialist for this audience and this specialist for this audience. But I mean, both specialists are completely coherent. I mean, it's the same area, but give you two focus.
This is the answer.
I'm not sure I'm clear in what I'm
saying.
It's
more not about the niche, because the niche you are in is procurement, so you are not trying to go to marketing. For example,
procurement is not a niche. It's so bad.
Maybe what you're asking is more about this specialization or niching down process. And the thing is, you absolutely can be in 3-5 things. But the broader you go, the more difficult it is to become visible, because immediately you are becoming part of thousands and thousands and thousands others. So visibility is about focus. So the more focused you are, the easier stand out and put your all the efforts and communication to this one thing. And behind that, you can have other things, but it's in terms of visibility and marketing. So if you want to stay with 2, you're absolutely 3 or 5, you're absolutely allowed. It's just that you need to communicate about each of them separately. So the whole effort would be like broader and a bit lower in terms of visibility. But it's not that you can't do that. You can, of course.
Yeah, maybe I will give an example of a doctor, right? When we have, let's say, problem with the eyesight, we go to the doctor who is specializing, Caroline, I believe I will not say it right. Ophthalmologist, right? We go to the ophthalmologist. We don't go to a podologist to do that. So, but he's a doctor, you know, he can do one thing, he can do another thing, but we choose the doctor with the right specialization to go to, because we know that he will be great specialist precisely in this. But that doctor can do other things as well, because he studied medicine. They all studied together, you know, for the first years, and then they get into their specialization. But he can say, I'm a doctor, I can treat you with this, for this, and for that. But we choose precisely who is specialized in that. This is for the sake of marketing and for the sake of getting, let's say, your place in the market. Because when people will be choosing, okay, I need a specialist who is like first class in this topic in procurement, to whom will I go? Will I go to the person, to the professional who is working precisely on this, growing and developing himself or herself as a specialist in this, or will I go to the specialist who does this but also does this? And then the doubt is maybe he doesn't know well enough, you know, this deep thing. And it's not only about procurement, it's in general as well. When we speak about marketing, you know, for example, now there are so many things with all this social media marketing. Yes, for example, I can tell you that I or any other specialist know how to do things because we watch the tendencies, the trends, and so on, to do things on, I don't know, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Pinterest. But then it's better to go to one specialist who is precisely specializing in social media marketing, but for example, in LinkedIn, because he will give you more than the specialist who does everything. It's all about marketing. It's all about social media marketing. This is just for the sake of, you know, being visible to the right audience who would like to find that specialist who you are. This is my opinion. It may be different, but I was in that position as well several years ago, because I knew so many things and I was trying to be this for that and that for that. But then I understood that no, it doesn't work. At least it didn't work that way for me. So I definitely need to focus on one thing and grow from there.
Okay, but I think it will be anyway ongoing discussion, and
Yeah.
maybe when you come up with more specific things, Anne-Marie, we can come back and discuss the specific example, and then it will be easier to answer. When you put down your niche and specialization, how you see that, then we can.
Yeah, and maybe what we also mentioned when we spoke with Eddie, when we discussed his case before, being known for one thing doesn't
prevent you to work on other
things. To work with other things, and that will be like an addition.
Yes, this, yeah, exactly. This is. I mean, if you have two sources, I mean, you know, it's okay. I will try to find.
Maybe if you formulate it in writing, then we can take it from there, and it will be easy to.
Because all is not on social media, and
yes,
and you
okay,
can have a specific and you can have a specific communication about one topic on a certain area where you know that they are suffering about this and having something else. But I mean, it's still procurement. It's still about I mean, the same area. But so I don't know if it makes sense. Well, I will try to formulate it up into some other example.
I can give the example for on coaching as well, that because we discussed with many coaches with Marina. When you tap coach in LinkedIn search, you have what was that
6,500,000 coaches,
and how to stand out. So I want a coach, so I go to LinkedIn and I find
everybody knows of them how to coach. They are all coaches.
So and then it's about niching down and being precise what you do, what problem you solve, and what result people get. Some people would go like, I'm a business coach and I'm life coach. So now when I see that, I see that the person is not positioned, not specific, and I would not go to this type of specialist because you're really good in something specific in this extent. Even like I'm specialized in leadership development, and I know it's too broad in terms of coaching nowadays, so I'm more driving to organizational culture development, which is one of the core competencies in leadership. So I mean, you niche down, and then you go become a go person for that specifically. And you can of course be free to pick several specializations, or maybe think whether there is umbrella on those two. You can call in one term and then you explain what is underneath that. If it's like you have Lean Six Sigma, for example, and you have I don't know, supplier management or traceability or something like that, what would be this common umbrella? Is it about this specific process, or so? But put it, and then we can, you know, discuss.
Anne-Marie, do you have two niches clearly visible now?
In fact, I mean, I've been. I mean, many things since started. I did project of savings. I did project related with system implementation, in SAP Ariba and things like that, design and implementation. And really, this is two different things. I mean, of course, I don't want to do savings because I mean, savings project because it's not what I like. I don't like saving, this kind of person. So and also, I mean, trainings with Lean and Six Sigma, and because I mean, selling a Lean Six Sigma project to a procurement department, it's just, I mean, it's just impossible. I mean, they are far away from it's not possible. I mean, so I can put me with a very nice image as a Lean Six Sigma specialist of process, etc., etc. I mean, okay, for them, the process is to work on systems. Okay, so I'm selling Lean Six Sigma to work on process design and implementation. I don't know if I'm clear in what I'm trying to explain. I mean, there's different doors to enter in the company, and procurement, I mean, is sometimes very difficult because they are not always mature. I mean, it's not a priority. Company put a lot of money on marketing, on sales, and things like that. But I mean, they really start working on procurement when they need to work on procurement, when they see that they need structure to when they lose money, when so they are in certain context. So
yeah, I understand. I mean, it is interesting because the the more a procurement person stays in the process and does exactly step by step what has to be done, the more predictable it becomes, which is not necessarily good for the best outcome of the negotiation. I've known bright buyers who were fantastic negotiators. They hated every process and they would not comply to anything.
Yeah, exactly. but for the company, I mean, processes, I mean, after a certain size, you need to and with, I mean, corporate world, I mean, everything is very process oriented now. It's not
yeah. Okay, interesting.
So good. Yeah. Let's come back maybe, Anne-Marie, to your specialization once you've done it as an exercise, and then it will be easier maybe. But there is certain similarity in hesitation, and I'm coming from procurement, so I clearly get what you say. And I think cost management, you confirm yourself that it's not something, cost saving, not something you're interested in. And anyway, that will find you, don't worry, because when we start to discuss the client with the client, this strategy, digital transformation, and by the way, we need some cost saving. So this is something you don't need maybe to, advertise very explicitly. It's always there. But focus on the value you bring. What is the value, this concept value in, cost out, more on the part of value in what you do, this digital thing. The metaphor you told us in your elevator pitch about the house was very good. So all that kind of stuff, so and see how the rest fits there, but maybe focusing on the one streamline and kind of back up it with other things. All right, so anything else you would like to share or discuss before we close this call?
No, not for me.
No.
Okay, so you have maybe Marina, we come back with this structure. So we have the module for now open on the platform.
Well,
so
yes, it officially opens tomorrow, but it's already there. So
which is more about, and you'll see that the pressure goes down there because we start to go on more communication side of the brand or execution, how to, and there are some videos which help you with like influencing, charisma and other things which are maybe general, so you can just watch it to stimulate your thinking process, to finalize what you have in your brand definition, and then progressively transition to brand execution. And there are some things which can go parallel, because if you have facts about you which are clear, you can already put them on LinkedIn or on your website. So if you have a title you are okay with, you can start to communicate. With other things, you can still, you know, take time and sit comfortably with all the brand pieces before going out there and start communicating. So this is about this fourth model.
Yeah, precisely in this fourth module, you will see what formats and types of content you can create. So there are specific lessons on how to write posts, how to write a book for someone who might be interested, then
thinking and do it one
yes,
day. Yeah.
One day to do that, when where to find ideas for your content. Then we also included imposter syndrome, because this is when it actually knocks on the door,
appear when
you
start to comment.
need to start acting. And that we see a lot, actually, because first you discover, you learn who you are, so you finally have some clarity, not 100%, and nobody of us has 100% clarity by then, but we have more clarity now, who we are, where we want to go, so what we can give, what is our value, with what type of customers we want to work, what types of audience we want to reach. And then when it comes to communication, sometimes it's very difficult to make the first step, for example, especially when it comes to recording videos, when, for example, Caroline already does that. But for some people, and we saw experts in our previous group, we saw experts with huge baggage, you know, of expertise, knowledge, but recording a video and sharing the ideas on a video was really a very difficult thing for them.
Too
it
much
was like
out of
mission impossible, you know. And the thing is, so because of the imposter syndrome, because they start thinking, okay, what those will say about
Others
me,
will
what they
think,
will
yeah.
think about me, and maybe I'm not good enough, and who needs my reflections and thoughts, and so on and so forth. So that's why we have this video. Maybe it will give you some ideas and some motivation and reinforcement, you know, that you are the type of expert. And we especially speak here about, well, not everybody likes this word authenticity, but that's what it is. And that's how finally your customers or any other people, you know, events organizers, or I don't know, mass media journalists will choose you, because of you being that type of specialist and person, you being authentic. And they will like something about you, and they will get in touch, and they will invite you to speak or to collaborate or whatever. And then we have here some things about charisma, lesson about charisma, speaking engagement, and we explain how to create a media kit so that you can pitch yourself. This all will be in the module 4.
Blimey.
It doesn't mean that you need to do that immediately.
Yeah.
You can engage. It's more like what types of communication channels and content are existing, and while you're continuing working on formulating your brand, you start to have the idea, okay, maybe I need to go this way, or I'll start
This is to give you
writing
ideas.
what is out there. Because later on the 5th model, we will go with a more strategic approach. Okay, to get to your vision, what pieces of those things you can do, because actually the number of things you can do to promote yourself, they're endless. And here's the question, how to narrow it down and make it manageable. So that's why we give you the things which exist, and then you will work on what you gonna do yourself.
Yes, here it will be more for you to pick up the ideas, to listen to the videos, and as we mentioned before, you can speed up the video.
If it's, yeah, in future.
Yes, because the videos are not long, you know, so they are all within that range, you know, like 10-15 minutes. Well, maybe some
20.
About formats, or I don't remember which one I was recording. It can
25,
be 20 minutes,
yeah.
about different types of content, but it will give you ideas. So what can you create? not only writing a post, not only posting a video, but you can do something else, you know, to make your content more engaging and to get more like aligned with your clients, with what they would like to listen, to read, etc., etc. So it's to give you ideas. And this, again, it doesn't mean that you need to rush and implement it all right now. It's for you. You can test and try to do something now. Then in the next week and the next month, you can try and test something else and see how people are reacting. So
can I just say, I'm glad, Marina, you used the word specialist, because I have difficulty with the word expert. I don't regard myself as an expert. It's like, it sounds really pretentious. And I mean, I don't know enough to be an expert on public speaking. So I'm going to consider myself as a specialist, and then I'll feel better about it. I think this whole program is about, you know, top expert brand, but the word expert for me in relation to myself is difficult to use. I don't know whether it's cultural or it's imposter syndrome. Who knows?
It's imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome.
Start with this video.
Typical example. I understand your point, Caroline.
But now you know how to formulate your mission, then, Caroline.
Well, we also use professional, you know, another word as well.
Yeah,
for me, expert is the one who has expertise. That's in my understanding of the English language. So expert is the one who has expertise in specific field that he can or she can actually share with the world and bring the value, give the value.
And yeah, I know that we are in semantics here, but since I'm coming from corporate world and from headhunting in like corporate hierarchy, specialist is always entry level. And this is my own problem with this word, because first you're a specialist, then you're a manager, then you're a leader of the bigger team and so on, then you're a board member. So in hierarchy, it's entry. And for some people, it can be misleading. So I am just starting, because if you read the job offer, very often we're looking specialists with 2 years of experience. So for me, it's really that. But I know that like in other countries, English speaking, like in Australia, because I see it very often, for them, specialist is what I understand as expert, like high level of specialization in something. So semantic, but depends, you know.
Yeah, what we're comfortable with.
Yeah. Yes. But in like if you work in corporate here in Europe, like in a job description specialist, it's entry level position and few years of experience. Maybe someone specialized, you know, professional specialized in, then it sounds better. Okay. All right. So thank you, everybody. Yeah.
So the brand book, the third template number 3. Do we send that to you when it's complete?
No.
No.
For us, it was For us, it was very important to see you working on the formulation. That's why we invited you to send it to us, so that you elaborate more, let's say that, and for us to see how you are going and progressing, so that now that you were presenting your mind map, we put the dots together, you know, on what you said in the brand book and what we see now on your mind map that you were showing.
However, there is one topic which is in model 3 technically, but it's part of brand formula, which is positioning. And positioning is very important piece, and we see that sometimes it's misunderstood. So we would have like specific mastermind on that, so you can bring
the next one,
statements there for discussion. And if you have questions, you can send it to us as well. But we think that for the brand power, it's one of the key elements to have your own position for certain things. And sometimes for experts and specialists, it's not clear exactly what it is. So we discuss it next time. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everybody, and congratulations on great job, really.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
And whatever questions, don't hesitate to